In this video we're going to be cooking a glazed gammon on the barbecue. I will show you exactly step by step how to prepare it, make a rub specifically for it, barbecue it, and then slice it up ready for one of the most delicious roast dinners you can eat. And you'll even have leftovers to slice up cold and have alongside your cheese board, you naughty thing. Now, I love cooking a whole gammon joint, especially this time of year, and when I saw this 5.1 kilogram beast with £10 off at Costco, I couldn't resist. Makes it £22, so I got it home and dropped it. Now, I've gone for an unsmoked gammon here because I will be smoking it, and you can get things too smoky if you're not careful. One thing you can do at this point is soak your gammon joint overnight in some water to remove some of the salt, but to be honest, I've never understood why you would want to do this. I myself will be keeping things nice and simple, and also it's 3:30 PM and I would like to eat this thing tonight. First off, get rid of that net, you won't be needing that at all. Then with a sharp knife, gently remove all the rind while leaving as much fat as possible. Don't worry too much about it being neat, it's not a beauty contest, and this fat can actually be useful. We're going to render it down in a pan alongside the cooking meat and then use it to moisten the meat later on. That is, if we don't mess it up. Keep watching. Next, we are going to do a diamond score into our gammon joint. This is going to help the rub penetrate the meat a little bit more. And then for a binder, we're going to use yellow American mustard. Now, if you don't like mustard, don't worry at all. You won't be able to taste it in the final dish. This is literally just to help all of that rub stick. And remember to wear a glove unless you want your hand to smell like mustard for the rest of the day, which you might well do. Popping that to one side and pausing only for a quick clean, it is now time to get on and make some rub. Now, you could use any rub you want, whatever flavour you want to go with. Go for it, but I'm just going to knock up a very simple rub here that's going to be good for gammon. We'll start off with 4 tablespoons of sugar, followed by 2 of paprika. I've used smoked, you can use any. 1 tablespoon of garlic granules, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, a cheeky teaspoon of ground black pepper, and finally half a teaspoon of mustard powder. Once that's all together, give it a good mix. And there you have some homemade gammon rub. Quick wipe because I spilt some, and then there you go. See, it's pretty easy, this barbecue business, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Now I'm going to transfer into this handy little tray that I got from IKEA, and it's going to allow me to apply the rub and not spill it all over the table, in theory. And don't worry that this looks like a lot of rub. Remember, we're dealing with a 5.1 kilogram piece of meat here. It'll be absolutely fine with it. And once you have applied a liberal coat of rub all over your meat, it is time to get it onto the barbecue. The barbecue in question today will be my Traeger pellet smoker. Now, you can use any lidded barbecue, just set it up for an indirect heat. We're going to be running this today at around 150 degrees Celsius, and I'm hoping that'll have this gammon ready for me by around 8 PM. Spoiler alert, it doesn't, I have to do something else. Keep watching. Then put on my pan of rind to render down while the gammon smokes. So I go to my Traeger app and set it for 150 degrees. This is at 340. Now, unfortunately, when it gets to 627, I'm still only at 40 degrees internal and it needs to be 55. Now, I don't want to be eating at 10 o'clock at night, so I'll need to do something about this. Now, this is a pretty common problem in barbecue. You never really know how long a piece of meat's going to take, but there's usually a workaround. So for the first step of this workaround, I'm just going to wrap this thing up in foil. Then I'm going to crank the barbecue up to 180 degrees Celsius to really push this thing through to the right internal temperature. Oh, and don't worry about that chicken, that's not for you. And while that new heat is doing its magic, it's time to whack up, maybe whip up. I don't know what you do. It's a glaze. I'm putting together a glaze. whipping, whacking. Anyway, 2 tablespoons of dark brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a full tablespoon of whole grain mustard. Love whole grain mustard, probably my favourite of the mustards. What's your favourite? Let me know in the comments. And then to bring this whole thing to a nice sticky conclusion, 4 tablespoons of honey. If you ask me what my favourite honey is, it's the kind that comes from bees. Anyway, get this glorious mess onto the hob. I should have said you have to do this in a saucepan. Hopefully you haven't just done it in something else and now you're realising you need to put it on the hob. I mean, I didn't say it at the start, but you can see it was a saucepan. Anyway, get it on a hob, melt it down a bit so it's nice and runny, and that's it, it's ready to go. Now, when your thermometer is telling you that your gammon has hit an internal temperature of 60 degrees, it's time to uncover it and then glaze it. Now that extra high heat has given that rub on the very top a nice caramelization, and it has totally destroyed my idea of rendering down this fat. I completely forgot about this bit, I have to be honest. It was supposed to just gently render down at 150 degrees, but when I upped the temperature I didn't think about it. However, there is some usable fat here, and I think, well, let's just pour it over and see what happens. And actually, the results are very nice. It kind of crisps up that fat cap a little bit, and it gives a satisfying sizzle. Yeah, another important lesson in barbecue there. You haven't messed up, just created a different opportunity. Anyway, after that optional step, it's time to apply this glaze. Just go ahead and shove it all over. Now, this glaze is going to need about 10 minutes on that full heat to tack up a bit, so I just checked the internal temperature and it's sitting just over 61 degrees, which I'm pretty happy with because we need the final temperature to be at least 63.5 degrees to make this thing safe to eat. 10 minutes later, that glaze has tacked up nicely. It's time to take this thing off and get it inside. I have to say at this point it's looking extremely appetizing. Now, we're not just going to leave it to rest on its own, we're going to give it a nice little foil tent so it doesn't lose any heat. Blatantly realise it's very hot, so I have to put my gloves on, but once I've done that, I get it nicely tented and can take it inside. 20 minutes later, and my gammon nicely rested, it is time for the big reveal. And it looks obviously very similar to how it looked when I took it off the barbecue, to be fair, it didn't really change much. Anyway, pop it onto a chopping board and we are ready to slice. Now this is the good stuff, this is what we're here for. Let's get this thing sliced into, and oh, just look at that, juicy and delicious. And you can see at this point why we removed that rind. If we had the rind on there, we would have just had to take it off because it wouldn't really have crisped up or anything. And in its place, we've got this lovely bark or crust with that caramelized rub and sticky glaze. You can see moisture is just pouring out of this thing. It's absolutely incredible. I think gammon is a massively underrated joint of meat. We should really eat it all year round. It's tastier than pork and more tender, and it's usually one of the cheapest cuts you can get, so I myself will be doing more gammon in 2026. Now, I'm only going to slice half of this today because we're just having half of it for our Sunday dinner. The rest of it is going to cool down, then be kept in the fridge, and we're just going to pick at it over the Christmas period. So look at this and tell me, is this not far better than turkey? Now, have some of those little fat morsels on the top. Cross the line from caramelized to slightly charred? Well, maybe, but I don't mind that. And all that sweetness in the rub and the glaze really helps counterbalance the salty flavour of the gammon. Anyway, gammon alone does not make a meal, so let's pair it with all the trimmings and absolutely stack my plate. Yes, I love mashed potatoes. Peas, because they're pretty much the only vegetable my kids will eat, and cauliflower cheese, because I find nothing goes quite so well with gammon as cauliflower cheese. But you don't have to be a traditionalist with it. Go left field. Put it on a donut or something. I don't know. Be creative. But whatever you do, don't throw away the leftover ham, because its greatest trick is still up its sleeve. If anything, ham is even better a few days after it's been refrigerated. Get a sharp knife, slice it up very thinly, and have it cold with your cheese board, or just on its own. Seriously, there's nothing quite like it. Anyway, I thoroughly hope you have enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed eating this gammon. I'll see you in the next one.